What's going on, YouTube? We're back at it for another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Ballistic Shield Backpack and how it is the worst stratagem in the game. Now, I saw a couple of people on YouTube, I saw a few thumbnails, people talking about OP combo, or is this OP, and I thought to myself, you know what, we'll give it a try. We'll see what's going on with this stratagem. I hadn't used it up until today. I basically looked at it and thought to myself, maybe there's a little bit of utility with this, but more than likely it's not going to be something I'd actually utilize. It's something that would just be for a good bit of fun, and ultimately it was even more fun just utilizing it as something of a role-playing mechanic to pretend like I am a Helldiver or part of a riot squad pushing in against bugs and automatons, telling them to cease and desist and to back up, put down their arms. It's a good bit of fun, I will say that. Even if it is the worst stratagem in the game, I did have a good time with this, and you can make it through with just 3 solid stratagems, including, this thing. But ultimately, if you were looking to just get the answer on what is the worst stratagem in the game, it's going to be the Ballistic Shield Backpack, but if you'd like to know why, keep watching the video. Now, me and old Ballistic Plank here, we started patrolling over in the Terminate side of things, and, well, let's just say old Ballistic Plank, well, he wasn't doing Johnny any good this day. I thought to myself, maybe this could block some of the Bloaty Bugs' puke, maybe this could block the Bile Titan's puke in a way, maybe it could possibly, block a few melee strikes from some of those Terminate, as long as they weren't on the left, right, or back end of us. Turns out it really didn't do a whole lot. If it was decreasing some of the melee damage that was striking against me, it was not by a whole lot, and each time that I was getting struck, man, it was still pretty devastating. Now, I was able to push things back, and I will say right now, goodness, man, when you put this in first person while you're aiming down sights, it's I don't know why, I really enjoy it a whole lot. It is a good bit of fun, but as far as the Terminate side, this thing is 100% useless. There is no utility factor to this. This did not stop the Bile Titan's puke. It didn't stop the melee. I probably procced the Democratic Armor passive so many different times. In one instance, you'll see the gameplay footage in front of you right now, and then came back and did the same thing, thinking, man, that blocked a good bit of that melee damage. No, it's actually the Armor's passive proccing more than any bit of this plank right here could ever block in melee damage. Kind of unreal. This thing, I didn't get to test it with the Bloaty Bugs, but ultimately, after it didn't successfully do anything with any other aspect of the bugs, I thought to myself, there's no reason you would ever use this just to block the vomit of the Bloaty Bugs. You'd be much better off just utilizing pretty much any other stratagem at this point. There is just no reason to use this against the Terminate. Whole lot of fun, very comical when it comes to just trying to pretend like you're a riot squad going in and taking down those Terminate bugs, but yeah, up until we get some type of sword and we get to the point where I feel like I've got like a police baton, maybe then I'll start to make a really comical video out of this, but beyond that, it is horrible and 100% useless against the Terminate. Now let's talk about the automatons. Now, old Plank here, he's not too bad against the automatons, but when I say not too bad, I mean he's all right. And when it comes down to the slight utility with this, and I mean, man, there is a toenail's worth of utility when it comes to the capabilities of benefiting from using old Ballistic Plank right here. Now, me being old Johnny boy with the Defender SMG. Now, the big thing about the Defender is that it's super accurate, and the number one thing about phasing off with the medium bots or the bots in general is the weak spots, the little heads that they have. If you can nail those, you could take some of these down really quickly. Problem is, with the Defender alongside the Ballistic Shield, you don't get the same level of accuracy. Now, it's not due to the fact that it actually increases recoil, it's due to the fact that even when you're sustaining fire from one of the enemies while holding this shield, intermittently, you will still get hit by one of the strikes, even though it's landing on the shield. Even if you're crouched, you will still end up getting that little stagger motion. And you have to be pretty close to be able to aim in, as you'll be stuck in the perspective of third person in order to try and land in those headshots, so you'll need to be pretty close in order to get this done. As trying to do it from a distance with that little white dot and white circle is, that's a big pain. And then, as soon as you aim down sights, you're literally going to be going off of the laser of your weapon through a tiny little window on the shield. Now, it looks really cool, and I really enjoy it. You know, it completely changes the perspective for me. I actually really like it a whole lot. It is something that I really aesthetically enjoy. But in practice, it is horrible. Completely throws off your aim and makes it a whole lot harder, and you just don't get the same level of accuracy with it. Now, beyond that, if you're facing off with some of those automatons that shoot rockets, well, buddy, I mean, sometimes it can block a little bit of damage, but generally it's still going to just bleed through, and you'll immediately drop the shield. But there is a very small percentage of times where a rocket hits you, and then all it does is blow you back, and the shield absorbs a good bit of the damage. That is a very minuscule amount of the time. And the rest of the time, you're generally getting one shot by those rockets, regardless of whether or not it hits directly on the shield or not. And if you have one of those medium bots, those rocket devastators, good luck, have fun, and if you've been to higher difficulties, you know how many of these rockets you're going to be dealing with when it comes to Hulks, when it comes to the regular humanoid bots, when it comes to those rocket devastators. They're everywhere, and this thing won't block it. It won't protect you. You'll drop it every single time you get hit, every time you get knocked to the ground while you're holding this out and your main primary weapon. It's going to the ground. It's over. You're going to have to go fumbling around trying to grab that again. You're just going to do better with the shield generator every single time. Now, another utility factor to this, though, is that you can put it on your back while you're holding a main weapon, and it will deflect damage from your back. This is probably the strongest aspect to it. This is probably the #1 utility form of it, in my opinion. I'd argue that you don't even want to use the Defender. You'd basically want to use something like the Diligent Sniper or one of the longer range type of weapons and utilize this almost like a turtle shell and have it on your back to where it's something that you could capably switch to in order to use your secondary for close range engagements. That way, when you're utilizing something like the revolver, possibly, this could actually end up being something that may be more worthwhile for you. There's a lot of people that really enjoy that revolver. This may be the best suited situation for that if you're utilizing something for long range on top of that. But 9 times out of 10, well, probably, I mean, 9.9 times out of 10, you're going to be better off using the shield generator than this every time. It's absolutely ridiculous. The fact that you can drop it, the fact that it just doesn't give you much coverage in general. It's without a doubt the worst stratagem in the entire game. And even at that, it still has a 5-minute cooldown, which is absurd to me, to wait every 5 minutes on this. Now, supposedly, this can't be destroyed. I don't know if this is 100% true, but I'll tell you right now, I used multiple shields. I went through more than a few matches with this shield, and fair enough, not once did this destroy. But does that mean that it's good? No. No, it doesn't. Now, did it block a few lasers here and there? Yes. But did it block all of them? No. Will this make you better at the game? Absolutely not. This would be something that more than likely would be pretty fun to use at lower difficulties where there are less rockets and there's more lasers, but even then, it is one of those items that I feel is definitely 100% meme worthy. Later on, while you get some beefier armor rating, when armor rating starts to work, put this on with a hefty, heavy suit and start pushing it against those bots. Wish I could utilize a grenade launcher with this, and man, I'd have a good time with that. But overall, you're looking to just literally deflect laser shots with this, and it will absorb some of the laser Gatling shield enemies' lasers, but again, it's another one of those moments where as time goes on, the more lasers that hit you, it seems that in between, intermittent shots will inevitably make it through the shield somehow, or somehow hit you in some way that staggers you, doesn't do a massive amount of damage, but still dwindles at your health bar. But overall, I can't condone anybody utilizing this. It is absurd to even see this in Helldive difficulty, and I almost had some people even quit as soon as I told them, hey, I'm going to be testing out that ballistic shield. They turned around so quick to go back and just hit that return to ship alone. But I told them immediately right after that, oh, no, don't worry, we'll be having 3 other stratagems that are going to be solid. It's not just going to be the ballistic shield and pretending like I'm just, trying to take down the match and drag everybody with me. But ultimately, The entire time that I used this through every single match from Terminid to the automatons, this thing ended up being more of a chore to try and maintain and try to attempt to utilize in the proper way in order to get it to work as efficiently as possible. If I was to, I swear, there was so many different times where I'd literally just forget about it. Like, it just wasn't doing a whole lot for me, and it makes it seem like you should be able to put yourself out of cover and be able to push a little bit, but in those instances, you'd more than likely end up in one of those situations where you put yourself in more danger than you could ever possibly be before that, and you'd be 10 times better off just using the SMG Defender by itself, as you'll have more accuracy when it comes to aiming down the sights and utilizing the red dot on it to take out some of those medium bots really efficiently, as compared to pretending like this shield's truly going to give you the advantage to push in, get close enough, and land those headshots easily. Now, some people, who knows, they'll probably try to make some argument in the comments down below that it's a skill issue or some other garbage. Ooh, man, I can't wait for that one. But I'll tell you right now, who knows, they're probably not in Helldive difficulty, and maybe they just, you know, what is that thing, the masochist or something? They just enjoy pain. Yeah, who knows? I love a good role-playing experience, but man, this one is just one that is more of a chore than it is something that actually benefits you. I make a strong statement that the barrages are better than coming in with this. I'd rather see somebody come in with a barrage than I'd ever see with the ballistic shield coming in. Now, it doesn't matter what random I roll into, what stratagem loadout they have, I'm still going to play out that match, but I'll tell you right now, I'll be looking at people sideways that come in with this ballistic shield. But that's going to be it right there, guys. We've got more than a few videos coming up in the future. We've got to talk about more than a few of these weapons, as there's been plenty of comments down below telling me that I'm just not giving any love to certain weapons, and a lot of YouTubers aren't giving any love to these certain weapons. Well, buddy, it's your special day. I read your comment, and I'll make a video for you. I'll give you the what's what and what's good about certain weapons that may not be great for both sides, but have their uses in certain instances. So we'll get down to business on those videos here shortly as we get to the next weekend. But if you'd like to see more of this content in the future, hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to see some of this content live and see me playing as a riot shield person in the future with a sword, pretending it's a baton or police baton, and taking people out, just having a good time overall every day at the Radio Reaper Show, hit that link down in the description below. Follow me over at Twitch. We'll be streaming daily. But on that note, have a good one.